another day. It's been a few days since I did the last charts video, so weekend has come and gone. A little busy yesterday, but back at the home studio today. So able to record this. So where we left off with Ethereum though was this trend line still here. It still hasn't broken to the upside yet, but it's grinding higher, so I like that. That is good. It'd be better if it flipped it, but it seems that every time it touches it though, it gets rejected. So it's now like 3 p.m. my time, so London will wake up in a couple of hours, so we might see a sell-off here potentially, but we don't. It's a 6% up on the day so far. We might see a sell-off, but who knows, right? So, but things are looking good. Things aren't falling away yet. I was expecting like this. I was expecting it to fall down here, but we're not getting that, which is great. FBTC is also climbing higher and higher. It's broken resistance, so that is good too. Now my gut feel is it's off the back of this DeFi. So there's been a few announcements recently. So let's have a look at AAVE for one. So AAVE has pumped hugely from the bottom. It's almost 100%. So we're about 90. So they announced AAVE Pro, which is a institutional product, right? So not for you and me, but for traditional finance guys to get in. It's going to require KYC and all that sort of stuff, but those guys are releasing the product for them, so that brings institutional money in a way that they are able to use it, right? So, and the same thing with Compound. They did a similar announcement. So if we go to, so here's the Compound chart. That's pumped even bigger. So it's 140% from the bottom. To be honest, I haven't been paying attention. I rarely pay attention to Compound. I've just never used. I've never used the Surface. I used AAVE a lot, but not Compound. But you know, they're similar platforms. If you remember back to last year, the first DeFi summer, like Compound was the one that kicked off the whole yield farming thing, really. So when they released their governance token, people got really excited about it. But now they've released an institutional product as well. So Compound and AAVE both doing releasing good fundamental news, so their token has gone off. My bet is that they will get some other follow through from other DeFi protocols, so keep an eye. Sushi's had a little bit of a pump as well. We might get something from Sushi or Uni where they open up their protocol to allow traditional finance to come and trade on there. Who knows? I don't know. So if you're not real sure what you should be looking at, just keep an eye on the DeFi index. FTX has one, and Binance has one as well. They both run under the DEFI ticker. So yeah, we've had a good run up from the bottom. What's that? 50%. That's pretty good. You know, considering this is the index, right? So this is like a lot of protocol. So you know, AAVE and Compound are in here, but not everything is pumping. But it still had a good run. We're coming up into an interesting point though. So it's all wicks and rejections in here. So there's obviously an area of interest just in this area. And we've also got, if you zoom in, we've got the EMAs coming into. So that's the 50 and that's the 200. So that's the, you know, the death cross that everybody was all harping on about before. It's like, oh, the sky's falling in and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, death crosses it can be a nothing burger, right? So, you know, don't freak out until it is. You know, overall, we're still making lower lows and lower highs though. So what I'd really want, like for a swing trade entry, if you wanted to go long, would be to find my paintbrush and that. So you'd enter here, because you want to break through this area of resistance and get on top of these EMAs at least, because you could very well easily just, where's my arrow, just come back again. And that may not be too bad, because you start printing really ugly inverse head and shoulder type things if you do that. But yeah, overall, I'm cautiously bullish here. Technically, we're still not bullish. We want to get up here, but things are looking good. You know, RSI is starting to ramp up, which means that bulls are starting to get more strength. This is the daily chart, so it has significance. The Bitcoin chart, let's go back into the 4 hours so we can see our trend line. Always get rid of these order blocks because there's too many of them. Get rid of that. Yeah, so there's the favorite trend line that we've had, and this is where I said in the previous video that I was looking for a bounce and then a takeoff, but that didn't happen, right? So any trades that you took here probably would have gotten stopped out, depending on how loose your stop was, right? So if you did something like this, you'd still be in. I would have done something like this probably. So but I saw it breaking down, so I didn't bother entering. But it did recover, so it just fell down to this support here, and now we're back above it again, and it's done the same thing. So the same sort of theory as I was going for here. It's just a break and retest of the trend line. It's doing the same thing. So good signs for Bitcoin as well. I'm still not, you know, celebrating or anything. I still want to see a good bounce off here, rejection, retest, and then bounce. And until I get it, then I'm just on my hands, right? We do have a nice rounded bottom though, so this is what this line is, just a quickly drawn in rounded bottom. So, you know, not an official pattern or anything, it's just to show that we've had lower lows coming down, and then it's starting to change. So the lows are starting to get higher and higher and higher. So it might be easier if I draw it in as a trend, so like that. But it dipped, it's come down, dip, and then here, and then up, and then up, and then up. So all good. I'm liking that. It's healthy. What I don't want, if we reject here and then fall down below here out of this, then it would be really bearish if it came down to here. As long as we stay in this range, you know, we could stay in this range for ages, and that's fine. If it does that, then more chance for altcoins to have a bit of a play. So I've spoken about DeFi alts. The other one that everyone's talking about right now is Axie Infinity, which is that game that you can earn tokens in, and which, in fact, someone tweeted. There was a tweet going around that saying that the amount of money generated, you know, revenue or sales and that in Axie Infinity has been more than some of the top DeFi protocols combined. It's how much money is going through, how many people are buying and selling these little Axie critters or whatever the hell they're called. And you know, there's the economy, the marketplace is overheating, and they've had to raise the prices of a few things within the game, but they've got a lot of they've got a lot of stuff coming up from what I've read. So they've got a land sale, they've got a DEX or something coming up. But people are actually using this, especially in countries like the Philippines, to survive, right? So they are playing this game and earning, $200 a month or whatever it is. It's something low, right? So for, if you're from a Western country, it's probably not a lot of money. But if you're from the Philippines and you're poor and you're working your ass off, but then you can also come home and then play this game for a few hours and make a couple of $100 extra, it can be life-changing. So, from that point of view, I think it's fantastic. So it's something that I want to have a look at a bit deeper. But, there are people that are in this community that have been in there a while and are warning that it's getting overheated. The guys that run this game have had to increase the price of, because the way that you can breed these Axies, there's a cost to do that. You need this token, AXS, in order to do it. So I think they've doubled the price, the breeding price, in order to try and slow down the amount of Axies that are getting bred. But yeah, there's some decent fundamental drivers coming up for this. So as you can see, it's absolutely mooned of late. It's like 230%, 240, 30%. It's definitely at a thing of resistance right now. So, but it is absolutely mooning hard. So, there's a good chance it might even break this. So, buying here is silly. Wait for a pullback. But if it breaks through here, then look for entries, around the $10 or $11 mark. Yeah, that's really all I had for this video. I'll talk to you guys soon.